Hello, Empowered Family. Your director here, Will Robbins, with Mak Kolvoord, the Athlete Player of the Week. So tell me, Mak, you guys just came off a big tournament championship, a big win down at the Academy Invite. And as we see, you are a boot. Show the camera your boot. She is in a boot. So you weren't able to participate this weekend. But from the sounds of it, you really just brought a lot of energy, motivated your team, and were the most valuable teammate on the sideline. Tell me about what you were doing on the sideline.
I made sure when they made if they messed up or a little bit, I made sure to hype them up, make sure they're fine. I was cracking jokes the whole time. I just made sure they were always up and positive and never got down on themselves because they always play better when they're in the game laughing with each other. Right. So I never made sure they were down. I always made sure they were just positive and having fun.
Yeah, and encouraging them. And that's exciting to hear because, as you know, we talk about the MVT that we do every week and being the most valuable teammate. And even though you can't contribute right now because you're injured, and a lot of times just as athletes, you might not be the most valuable player. You might be more of a role player, but you can still contribute whether you're on the court, off the court, whether you're the main player or a role player, by bringing energy, by bringing positivity, by keeping your team fired up and keeping them positive and confident, you can be more successful. So we appreciate that you've really stepped up and you've owned that, and you really have been that valuable teammate that your team needs. So tell me a little bit about the injury. Tell me exactly what's going on, how long you're out, when you think you're gonna be back.
I did this at practice on a Sunday, February 7th, I think. Or February 8th, one of those. I came down on it wrong when we were hitting and I felt like a crack and it hurt really bad, but I didn't really care about it because I just want to keep playing volleyball, and I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't want to tell anybody because I want to finish the season. So then when we got x-rays, they thought it was a stress fracture after I kept playing on it for a month. Even though it hurt really bad, I wanted to keep going, so I did. When we got x-rays, they thought it was a stress fracture, so they put me in just a boot for 3 weeks, and I felt no improvement. It still hurt really, really bad. So then they got an MRI, and they found out that it's broken in many spots, and I had to be on crutches and on weight bearing for at least 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which ended my volleyball season, my track season, but then if I recovered on time, I might be able to make the very last tournament in May.
Oh, so you might be back for the end of the season.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right. Well, we'll definitely pray, and hopefully you're doing all the rehab and everything that the doctors are telling you to do. Have you stopped running?
Sadly. Yeah.
So for the last month and a half, you were playing on it and you were running on it and everything with a fracture and with multiple breaks?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that speaks volumes to how tough you are. And that's great. You're a really tough athlete and you can fight through pain. But yeah, that's unfortunate. And I'm sorry to hear that you're going to be out that long. But speaking of running, I mean, you run a lot. And so you also were not only doing practices, but how many miles a day were you running?
Normally after track practice, I would take my little brother on a run, just a mile around the block or so with me. And then I would do speed work on my own for a couple miles on the treadmill, getting fast, ready for track season. That just started and mine just ended. But normally, not really sure. I'd get in a good amount.
Yeah.
I think one day with my broken foot, it'd be 7 to 8 with track and then coming home and running.
7 to 8 miles a day? So you were running, on top of practicing, all with multiple fractures in your foot. You are a very tough kid.
I try.
So let's talk a little bit about running, because that's something that your Empowered family probably doesn't know, is that you are a world-class runner, and it sounds like you have some records. Tell us about those.
I started really running when I was 6 to 7. I was running from when I was 2 on, just little races, little mile races that I walked most of. I started really running probably about 7, and that's when I set my 2 world records in the half marathon and the 10K. And I thought I set the record one time, and then this guy, he came back and he goes, "Oh no, you didn't set the record," and he showed us a time that beat mine. So my world record was not there, not there.
But close, I'm sure.
And then I was determined to get it again. So then I ran a race, another one, and then I got the record for real by 12 seconds.
Nice. So world record holder. I mean, tell me about some of the races that you're running. I mean, what are the distances?
My favorite is a half marathon, so 13.1 miles. I ran a 16-mile race a little bit ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I ran a lot of 10Ks, so 6 miles, and 5Ks, so 3 miles. Yeah.
Have you done any like triathlons or anything like that, or mainly just running? You get into the swimming and biking or anything?
I did not like swimming. We
Like
tried that when I was injured. That doesn't go well.
It doesn't go well?
I'm very slow at biking.
Yeah.
But I did a group triathlon with my brothers and sisters, and my brother swam, sister biked. She broke her nose and got a concussion, and we still won. Anchored it with the running.
So really, you won because of you. I mean, it was nothing your brother and sister did.
Yeah, they did nothing.
They probably got you super far behind. You had to make this miraculous run to catch up and to win.
It was a struggle.
That's awesome. But yeah, and that's one thing we love here at Empowered is we want to have multi-sport athletes, and we want you guys to enjoy all sports and you know, and be able to slowly, obviously, as you get older, you have to narrow it down a little bit and kind of figure out what you want to do in college. But a lot of colleges, you can still do a couple of different sports. You're just kind of limited sometimes by what level. But yeah, that's awesome that you're running and you're enjoying it. And honestly, I would say keep doing it as long as you can. Obviously, not with a fractured foot. But you know, you want to keep doing it as long as you can. And same thing with volleyball. You know, keep excelling and just keep working hard and see where God takes you with these sports and see what you want to do. But if you had to make a decision today, you had 2 college offers right now, the big question, you want to go do track or go play volleyball in college?
Really put me on the spot. Oh, I wasn't ready for this question. I'd probably start off by praying, tell God to give me a sign,
right.
And then I'd walk downstairs and see the sign hanging up on the wall at Empowered. Said, "This is a sign you're looking for, marked God." Then I'd be like, "Thank you." There's my sign.
Finally have a sign. You like that sign in there, don't you?
I do like that sign.
It's okay. I'm not going to hold you to this answer. It's okay. How about both? You can do both.
Yeah, I'd go to Oregon, so then I could do track and volleyball.
Oh,
and then do them both.
There you go. There's the answer. Why give up one when you can do both?
Yeah. Just gotta.
It's gonna take a little extra work. So yeah, you gotta have the extra muscle. You gotta have nice workout program.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell.
I can do like 2 push-ups.
That's impressive. That's 2 more than a lot of people. So yeah, so let's talk about that. So let's talk about, volleyball. Here you are, this world-class runner, and then, you kind of got the volleyball bug and you started coming to the gym, signing up for elite training, and then deciding to go and do tryouts and jumping full-fledged into travel volleyball. So what's that been like, taking on this new sport and trying to play volleyball all of a sudden at, 13 years old, 14 years old?
I was kind of scared because everybody had been playing for a while and I was kind of new and everybody's looked like really good at tryouts. So I was like, I do not have these skills. Not yet, at least.
Right.
And then I remember I was at the elite training and you were there and you were like, how long have you been playing? I was just like, this is like my first day. And you worked with me a little bit for those 3 days before tryouts. And then you told me, are you coming to tryouts? And I was just like, no, I'm not going to tryouts. I don't play volleyball. And you're just like, I think you should come to tryouts. I think we could have a spot for you. And I was just like, yeah, I'll talk to my mom about that one. I was not planning to come to tryouts. I talked to my mom and she's just like, okay, let's give it a shot for 1 year. And I was just like, okay, I guess we'll give it a shot. And then I fell in love with the sport. And then here we are. And then I made the team, Navy. And I was really excited because my friends were on that team.
Right.
And then, yeah. It was a really good season.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So this is your first full year. You start off as a middle, okay, at least learning the blocking and hitting, getting used to just the game, the rotations, working on your serve, not just getting your serve over in the lollipop, but getting that laser that you got now. But then you got asked, about a month and a half ago, to switch to the outside hitting position, where now you also have to pass on top of the hitting. How did that transition go with going from middle to outside?
I do miss middle sometimes because I love getting those blocks so you can look over and flex on them. Ooh, get blocked.
You giving them a tumbo finger wave? No?
Yeah, not again. So I love blocking for middle and I love middle. And then when I was asked to go back to outside, I was just like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I went to outside and I thought it was just like a one tournament thing. And now I play outside and I like outside a lot. It's really good. I like hitting and like really hard in their faces cross court because down the line's a little rusty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like outside and passing. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah, that is the one little difference is, you have to be an excellent passer on the outside because you're one of the primary passers. And as a middle, you unfortunately don't really get to work on passing. You're always out of the serve receive rotation. Obviously I got to work with you a little bit when you were making the transition. And the hitting is there. Obviously there's a little bit of technique that we're working on, landing safely. But you really have come a long way. And to be honest, I don't know that I've seen a young athlete, especially starting late in the game, make this much progress in just 1 year. So that speaks volume to just the time that you put in the gym. And as everyone around here obviously now knows you, and we all feel like you've been here for 15 years because you're here every day, and you like to just hang out in the gym and get reps and work on your arm swing, passing, hitting, setting, just whatever. And so you've made up a lot of ground in a short amount of time. And so I think that can be really encouraging and inspiring to a lot of our athletes who are kind of new to the game and think that maybe I'm so far behind I'll never catch up. And yes, I'll be honest, it is tougher, to catch up, but if there's a will, then there is a way, and if you really want it and you love it that much, you can put the time and the effort in, and yes, you might have to put in twice the work that everybody else does to be able to catch up, but it's definitely possible. And so you are testimony to that, in a short amount of time, here you are, going, starting as a middle and then eventually moving to the outside and going from a lollipop serve to a laser serve, and then going to where, you're becoming a leader on the team already. That's inspiring to a lot of the athletes that, they can have hope and know that even if they're behind and they put the extra work in, they can catch up and they can excel. So congratulations,
Thank
Mac,
you.
our athlete empowered player of the week. Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey Sophie, it's Mac. We won another race today.